What's going on, guys? I am Michael Anthony, and thank you for checking out my article in this month's Shutter magazine. Guys, I am on vacation with my wife in the beautiful island of Mallorca, Spain, but I had to make this video because it is so important for anybody who's running a photography business, because if you have never ran into a customer service issue ever in the history of your business, I promise you at some time you guys absolutely will. So guys, a couple years back, 2015, 2016, my business was going through a lot of growing pains, right? We grew very fast and we did not have the infrastructure in place to make sure that our clients were happy, and our client experience suffered as a result of that. But there are a couple things that I learned that I want to share with you guys or expand upon if you read my article to help you guys navigate through a similar situation when your business arrives there, and it will at some point, trust me, right? So tip number one that I have for you guys is to make sure you guys are listening to your customer's complaint. There has never been a time that a client complained in our business about something where there wasn't at least a little bit of truth. Now, more oftentimes than not, they blow it out of proportion, right? And that's completely expected in the retail world. It doesn't just happen to us photographers, it happens to everybody who runs a business. But at the same time, the best businesses are the ones who learn from that complaint and turn it into something actionable for their business in order to make sure that it doesn't happen again, right? So make sure you're listening to your client's complaint, and like I said in my article, make sure that you put yourself in their shoes. The second tip that I have for you guys that is so important is, once you hear your client's complaint, offer up a solution that works for them and works for you at the same time. Now, I'm not saying that if a client complains that you guys responded took too long to respond to an email or something like that, that you guys give them a free refund, right? Or give them a free shoot. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that your response or your suggestion has got to be appropriate based on whatever in their business that they're feeling you did not do wrong. And there is a saying that the customer is always right, and I am a believer in some case that is true, because at the end of the day, it's their money, right? They're paying for you, and you have to make sure that you're managing their expectations. And that brings me to tip number three, and the most important one, right? This isn't necessarily directly in my article, but I want you guys to understand it, right? The majority of client problems, the majority of problems that come in your business that your clients find fault in your business as a result of, are due to mismanaging their expectations. It means they expected something of your business and you did not deliver in the way that they expected. And the way that you guys can avoid that altogether is by managing their expectations up front. So for instance, when we have a client who, let's just say they end up booking a wedding with us, right? There are a lot of steps that happen in the wedding. There is an engagement session, there's a boudoir session, there is the actual wedding day, right? And all of those events have things that lead up to them that can make or break a shoot. So we send a client a series of emails prepping them for each one of those items in our shoot, right? And we have to make sure they know what they're gonna wear, where they're gonna park, how much money it costs to park, right? We have to make sure that they are prepared for any scenario that happens, right? Because what ends up happening if they are not is they end up getting to a situation or an engagement session per se, and you didn't tell them, but there's a $7 fee to park. They don't have cash on them, right? So now they have to go to the bank and get some money. Now they're late for their shoot. You're mad at them because they're late, and in reality, we did not tell them that they needed to pay for parking, right? Then maybe you missed a shot during their engagement session, right? Now maybe you forgot the groom's name or something stupid like that. All of those things compound together, and it creates the perception that you in your studio does not know what it's doing, right? But all of that could have been avoided in the very beginning had you given them directions on where to park, had you looked and made sure that you knew their names. All of those little things happen beforehand, and it can avoid a client problem down the line. So remember, guys, tip number three, make sure you are managing their expectations from start to finish, and you will avoid any client problems. And when you guys do run into client problems, which will happen eventually, make sure you're following all the steps I laid out in my article. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for checking it out, and we will catch you next month in Shutter Magazine.